Hello everyone, and welcome to YouTube Tuesday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, happy Tuesday. Hope you're staying warm and cozy and getting some stamping done. I'm all bundled up. It is cold here. We are having a true New York winter. Cold weather, snow, the works. This is the first December I can remember in years where it has been cold and snowy right from the get-go, and doesn't look like we're gonna have any any reprieve anytime soon. So I'm bundled up warm and cozy and thought it would be fun if we made some cold weather cards. So I'm going to be using Stampin' Up's Lights of Aurora Sweet Collection. Hi Nancy, hello. Yes, cold for sure. So we are going to pretend we're enjoying this cold weather and make some amazing Lights of Aurora Northern Lights cards. Love this sweet collection. If you see here on my catalog, this is in the September to December mini, and you see a lot of those pink slashes. This sweet collection is on last chance, which means clearance. And so a lot of these items are discounted, so I will share that with you. And I think you're gonna like it. I've got a couple of really awesome technique cards for you. We're going to make a square column technique card. It's really cool. We're gonna have like the trees stand up, the whole works. It's a lot of fun. And then I'm gonna show you too how, using just a little bit of embossing, I'm going to use the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder along with the Lights of Aurora paper to make it look even more like the lights are dancing. So pretty awesome. All right, hey Doris, hey Luann. Okay, so as I flip my camera here, I'll keep chatting with you guys. All right, so my craft show over the weekend, it went okay. It wasn't really a card making crowd on Saturday, but it was nice to connect with a few of my neighbors and friends and former teachers and things like that in the community. And that was part of my purpose in going, was to kind of reconnect. It was, the craft show was to support the library. And so it was for a good cause. And I was able to connect with the librarian and a few people on the board of directors there for the library. And I was like talking it up that I would love to do some adult card making classes, things maybe in an afternoon, so people don't have to drive after dark, things like that. They have a lot of kids programming at our little small town library, but there's really not a lot for adults. So I think I piqued their curiosity. Now, if I can follow up with that, with some ideas, then hopefully I could get a card making class going perhaps in January. So, so I would consider that a success. So here we go. I've got my materials out here, my packets, the Lights of Aurora paper. This paper, it really is cool. And, maybe you're a little timid because it is such a dark background with these random lights, but I think you're gonna like the projects that I have to share with you. And here we go, just showing you page 37 of the catalog. So the stamp sets and the dies, both individually, are discounted. The stamp set is on sale for $17.10. The dies on sale for $34.20. However, when you do add that up, you do still save a few cents by purchasing the bundle itself together. All right. I would not buy the Sweet Collection with one item number because that will still be more expensive, because right now even the iridescent dots, the frosted dots, those are on sale for $8.10. And the Balmy Blue sheer ribbon, this is really, really pretty. This is on sale for $6.80. So purchase the bundle of stamps and dies together, but then do the other items individually so that you get the clearance prices there. The only thing carrying over right now is the paper pack. I've noticed Stampin' Up has been doing that lately. They keep the paper around a little bit longer because once you do have the stamps and dies, maybe you do want more paper to continue working with down the line. So that's what we have there. So let's do Let's do the first card super. We're gonna do the simple card first because I want you guys hanging around. I want you to watch the video. So, okay, please let me know if you are here, okay? All right, so Dora's just commented. Okay, can somebody leave me another comment again? Because for some reason I got a message that my stream was interrupted. I don't know that. I believe it's either on YouTube's end or my internet provider. And so please comment and let me know. Okay, good. Luann, you're there. All right, so I was saying that I'm going to start with the simpler card with the way to make the wavy dancing lights first, and then we will do our square column card. Okay. Oh, hi, Diana. Good. Glad you can see me. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Luann. All right, so this one, first card, while still a technique card, is really awesome and simple. So the colors in here, we've got all kinds of blues, shades of blues and purples. So I went with Balmy Blue. Balmy Blue for our card base. It's the same color as the Balmy Blue ribbon. All right. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. Just your half sheet. Go ahead, fold that. This is traditional, regular A2 card. Okay. All right. Of course, I've got some basic white for the inside. I've been trying to do that lately. That is one thing that doing these craft shows has taught me, is the number of cards that I have that did not have inserts in them. So I've been cutting card inserts in bulk here so that as I put cards in my holder to sell, that they already have the insert. So I've been trying to go through, make sure my cards have nice little liners in them, and make sure they also have a coordinating envelope. So, all right, so the next thing, our next layer is Blackberry Bliss. Isn't that a really neat combination, the Balmy Blue? Oh, look, I did not intentionally match because I've got my new puffer vest on that obviously does not, but my blue sweater, there we go, I am still in the theme. And I've got layers on. Look at that. It was cold. So Balmy Blue here and Blackberry Bliss. Really neat combo. Oh, Karen, it's raining out there. Yes, this weather is crazy. Actually, my hubby's on. He's my Doppler Dave here. And we now have a weather advisory, a snow advisory for Cortland County tomorrow. Well, yeah, beginning at 4 a.m. And going through Thursday morning. So I am curious how much snow we might get. Yeah, crazy. So you'll notice there's a hole in my Blackberry Bliss cardstock. What I have done is used the arch dies. All right, these are from the everyday arches. And actually, while the arch dies are carrying over, the everyday arches stamp set that coordinates with that is on the last chance list. Okay, so there is actually a stamp set. I have it here somewhere, but it is designed to stamp the words up and around the curve. So because this layer is going to be sandwiched between the card front and the designer paper, I die cut my arch from the center. All right, good way to conserve your cardstock. So once you have die cut that from the middle, all right, go ahead and adhere this to the front. Okay, all right, like a little peekaboo window. All right, now this is the cool part. You take your designer series paper, and I cut that down to 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so this layer, the Blackberry Bliss, is 4 by 5 1/4. So we want our designer paper to be 1/4 of an inch smaller. So you're gonna cut it 3 3/4 and then by 5. And then what you do, this is so cool, you take the Soft Waves embossing folder. All right, look at these cool waves. And you could go this way. I kind of like the waves going horizontal landscape there. All right, you could even emboss the whole sheet because this embossing folder is 6 by 6. All right, so line this up in here. Now, this is one of the 3D embossing folders. So what that means is whether you're using your Stampin' Cut and Emboss, or you're using your Big Shot, okay? You're gonna use your base, no tabs. You're gonna follow the instructions here that say use with 3D embossing folders. So you need your base, no tabs, the folder with your paper in it, and then you need number 4, which number 4 here, all right, this is the gray specialty plate. So if you have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss, then the gray specialty plate came with your machine. All right, if you had a Big Shot, then Stampin' Up at one time sold a blue. Your plate, your specialty plate would be like a opaque blue. So what this is a little bit thicker than the other plates here. Okay, so your base, your 3D embossing folder with your paper, and then your adapter plate here. Doris, when can you order from the January catalog? The January mini, which you got yours, right, Doris? I sent it to you. The January mini begins January 6th for customer ordering. Yes, so January 6th. I believe that is a Tuesday, because the first falls on a Thursday, so Stampin' Up is closed that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday will be crazy with everybody going back to work. So yes, so it begins on Tuesday the 6th. Okay, so run this through, and then when you pop it out, check out how cool this is. Isn't that neat? I think it just enhances the pattern in the designer series paper. It really is just the coolest thing ever. Okay, so when you've got that, then go ahead and adhere this to your card front. Okay, so that is a neat technique, is to emboss your designer series paper layer. Okay, and then watch what we're gonna do with our Wink of Stella. Okay, so give your Stella a shake here. And mine is a little loosey-goosey because if you watched my video a couple weeks ago, my Stella had pretty much run out. And so I refilled it with rubbing alcohol. All right, so now I've got lots of juice in there. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna follow, you can just follow some of those lines through here. All right, just follow some of the lines of the embossing. All right, so I'm not saturating the whole thing. I'm just doing little lines, and then, oh, look at that. And then it shivers. So between the paper itself, the embossing, and the shimmer, I think it truly brings those northern lights, those lights of Aurora, to life. All right, love me some Wink of Stella. It's just so fun. All right, I love the card. I mean, you could just leave it like that because it's so pretty. All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our Blackberry Bliss archway that we had die cut from that inside. All right, so this one, we've already got several layers here, so I am going to plop this right in the middle. Okay, yes, isn't this fun? All right, plop that right in the middle. Then I did the next size smaller archway from some basic white. And while I love the words that come with the Lights and Wonder coordinating stamp set, I wanted something vertical here, and these didn't quite work. So I used this hidden gem of a stamp set. It's called You Are Remarkable. This was an online exclusive. I think it came out sometime last summer. This is now on the clearance. All right, it's now on clearance rack. Let me see if I can tell you exactly when and... Okay, so it must have been one of the, I want to say March. Yes, this was one of the March online exclusive release. All right, and it's on sale for $16. All right, so it's a $4 off on the stamp set called You Are Remarkable. It's quite pretty. What's unique about it is that the sentiments are vertical. And I'm gonna do this one because I think the Northern Lights are remarkable. They are unique, and so that sentiment just works perfectly. You are remarkable in every single way. All right, so we'll grab our stamp set here. We need some Blackberry Bliss ink to make this stand out. Okay. All right, isn't that awesome? It's kind of neat to, we always do our sentiments, you know, left to right. So it's nice to have one that goes up and down like that, okay? So then we'll stick this, all right, layer that right on the front. And then I want to use, yes, it is still available, but it is last chance clearance, okay? I had a little bit of a strip, like the bottom portion here, but it is still kind of pretty. You could use either side if you want to decorate. I think I'm gonna use that purple side. All right, so this is just like 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm gonna put that right here inside my card just to dress up the inside. This is not in the new catalog. This was this was released back in March. So it's been out for 9 months now. It was a March online exclusive. All right, so you will not find it in a catalog. You will find it in the online store. It's number 165445, and it is currently on clearance for $16. Okay, that's the You Are Remarkable. Okay, and then we need a bow. All right, I did pre-tie my bow here, but this ribbon ties so nicely. Okay. Was this in the old catalog, Luann? No, this is a online exclusive. It was never in a catalog. Yep. So, all right, but this ribbon ties so nicely. All right, I didn't even need my bow maker for that. It just comes out. All right, just adjust your loops a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna put it right on there. Just put a bow on it. All right, so let me see, where did I put my glue dots? That's what I need. All right, I've got a new roll of glue dots because my other ones kind of got unraveled and then got not so sticky anymore. All right, so here we go. All right, stick your knot on the dot and then pry it off, and you can put it anywhere you want. So pretty. And as if that's not enough, check out these frosted shimmer gems, all right, from the Lights of Aurora collection. Like I said, these are on sale, on clearance for $6.80. No, that was the ribbon. These are on sale for $8.10. The ribbon $6.80. These are $8.10. All right, so this is a new package here. You have the white, the balmy blue, the kind of gorgeous grape Highland Heather color, and then your berry burst. Okay, but because they're frosted, they do go with just about everything. So I think I'm going to use, I used a few there. Some of these balmy blue pool party ones. Let's, put a couple more on here. All right, let's do a big one kind of down here, and then we'll use a couple of smaller ones. There and there. All right, we got our threes. Angle is good, and we have so much shimmer. Ooh. All right, so there we go. That is our first Lights of Aurora technique card. Now for the square column card, and you might be wondering, what in the world is a square column card? Thank you, Doris, for asking about my mom. She's doing a little bit better. We're still kind of trying to get some medications straightened out so that she feels 100% better. But we're still working on it. So thank you, though. So here we go, square column. looks like a regular flat card, but it has a pop-up that is square. So you could stand it on your desk. It is 3D. How cool is that? All right, so this is the card that we are going to make. And it is not as complicated as it looks, okay? That is my job, is to not only teach you these new techniques, but give you the confidence, right? Help you build your confidence to try them. And I hope you like it. All right, so we are starting out with some basic black, okay? And we did cut this a little bit different, okay? So you're gonna need a full sheet of basic black. This is gonna be 5.5 inches, all right, 5.5, and then you are going to cut it to 10 and 1/8. So 5.5 by 10 and 1/8. All right, so just a little bit different here. So you're only gonna get one out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Okay, so 5.5 by 10 and 1/8. All right, and then we are going to do some scoring here. All right, let me show you. All right, let me find my trimmer here. Okay, so first thing we are going to do, all right, is here on the long side. All right, let me turn it this way, all right, and extend the arm, because we're gonna make we need 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines, okay? So make sure you get your cutting blade out of the way. We just want our score blade. All right, so the first one is going to be at 4 1/4. All right, we can handle that. We're used to that, 4 1/4, okay? Second score line is going to be at 5 3/4, okay? So 5.75. Let me pull that down so you can see it. So 4 1/4 and then 5.75, okay? Next up is at 7 1/4, okay? And last is at 8 3/4, so 8.75, okay? Okay, that is it. So you cut your card base to 5.5 by 10 and 1/8, and then you scored at 4 1/4, 5 3/4, 7 1/4, and 8 3/4, okay? All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of rotate this back so that my largest panel is here on the right. As you can imagine, this is the base, okay? And so what we're going to do, I'm actually gonna just fold that over a little bit, all right, to the back side. And I've cut just your regular basic white, just like I would insert in the card, your panel that's 4 by 5 1/4, right? Because once we do this card and put it all together, you might be like, where am I gonna put my message? So here's the card. Oops, should not have stuck that on top. Your message goes on the back, okay? So this panel goes on the back. All right. And then for all of this, you're gonna start with one 6 by 6 sheet of the designer series paper. Yes, Karen, please come back. Thanks for joining us on your lunch break. Come back and watch the replay. This card is super cool, right? Square column card here. Okay, so you need to pick one pattern here. All right, and from this, I have a 3/4 inch strip that I trimmed down to, actually I want it to go this way, right? Because the paper goes like this. Okay, so your first is a 3/4 strip by 5 1/4. Okay, go ahead and adhere this as a little decoration here on the back. You can put it all the way to the edge. You can give yourself a little room. It's your preference, okay? All right, so, oh, in that case, I put mine over here. So you can put it anywhere you want. All right, so the back is done, okay? Now on this main panel, we are going to stick our next layer of designer series paper, and yeah, you can decide which way you want it to go. This piece is 2.5 inches. All right, 2.5 by 5.25. So I just took the paper, chopped off 3/4 of an inch. All right, then chopped off 2.5. All right, and then you're gonna have 3 1-inch, 1 1/8 inch pieces left. Okay, so like I said, one 6x6 sheet will do all of the panels here for you. Okay, so the 2.5 by 5.25 piece that goes on next. It's gonna go here on the widest section. And you are going to place it over towards the right, okay? So you do want your, your 1/4 inch border here on the top and the bottom and the right, okay? But you wanna leave this section open because as we score our panels for the column, it will eventually fold up, and that is where our column will secure, okay? So go ahead, put the 2.5 inch by 5 inch piece on now, okay? And then what we will do, all right, so let me show you, you're gonna fold in, all right, on each of these score lines, and then it's going to, this far left piece is going to fold in on itself down at the bottom. So we're gonna put our adhesive on here. All right, so let me just fold that in and grab some tear and tape here so that you can use whatever glue you like. I do like tear and tape. It is pretty strong, especially since this is an interactive card. You want a nice sturdy adhesive so that as it's handled, you don't want it to fall apart, okay? So I am gonna put 2 lines of tear and tape there, just for good measure, okay? Go ahead, burnish those, and then, all right, so I'm not gonna adhere it quite yet, all right, but because you've got that, you know where it needs to go. So what we're gonna do is just fold at that 4 1/4. Fold this over, and we're going to adhere our 1 1/8 by 5 1/4 strips of the designer series paper to these 3 columns. All right, the 4th column here has the adhesive, the tear and tape. Okay, so we want to make sure, and let's see. All right, so depending on how your paper went, you want to make sure that you, kind of keep the lines so that the lights flow properly here, okay? So then just glue each one down one at a time. Okay. So this goes in the first one, and then the second one. Okay, and then our third. And this looks cool no matter which pattern. Let's see, this is the pattern I used here. This one is slightly different. They all look really cool, okay? So now that you've got your designer papers adhered to the columns, you can go ahead and remove the backing from your tear and tape, okay? And then this adhesive piece is gonna go right here along, all right, right into that score line, okay? That's where you wanna line it up, right into your score line. And go ahead and fold, all right, so you can see that, fold it right here into that score line. Make sure, right, that you're even, okay? Make sure you're even top and bottom. You got it all lined up, and there we go. All right, give that, you can even use your bone folder, stick that in the inside the column. All right, just apply a little bit of pressure, burnish that tear and tape so that it stays nice and secure. Okay, so there we have done. We have formed our square column card. And then what it does when you push it from left to right, it folds square. So go ahead, give it a push. All right, and then just use your bone folder to burnish it that way as well, okay? You do want to make sure it's going to fit in your envelope. Okay. All right, so there we go. So cool. All right, so let's see here. I die cut a circle. This is 1.5, no, what is it, 1.5? 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 inch circle, I die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. You could use your 1 3/4 circle punch, whatever you want there. To me, this looks like a moon in the sky or a planet. So I'm going to use some Blackberry Bliss with that as well. And you could use any sentiment that you want here. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use, I have been, keep going back to this Friendly Foliage stamp set. This one's pretty cool. Let's do that. And then I can do Here For You Always, You're On My Mind. Let's see what I want to put on there. Yeah. How about Wishing You All the Best? That would be a good one too. You could even do this one. You are remarkable and everything. Maybe we'll do that. Let's do that. Last minute change. So you can see on this one, my original, I did use the Friendly Foliage. I did Here For You Always. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just show you how it looks the two different ways here. Because I do like this stamp set. This You Are Remarkable there. Okay, so stamp that and some Blackberry Bliss. Okay. And that we're just going to glue flat. Okay. So I'm putting it up here in the upper right, like a moon shining in the sky. Okay. All right, now comes the cool part. We're going to build our landscape. Okay, so I'm using the Light and Wonder bundle. Now the dies are pretty big, so they don't all fit. All right, but I don't like the big awkward size cases. I like them all to fit in my, in my stamps, or even bundled in with my stamps. Okay, so I do have an extra little hunk that has the remaining. So you've got mountains and different landscapes and trees and clouds and the whole works. So what I did, I have used some of this treescape along with this one, and I am layering them. So what I've done, I cut this whole strip from some basic black cardstock, all right, which gave me two. What I did is I ended up just cutting it kind of in half here at the middle part. So if you do the whole thing, you'll get a piece, and it doesn't really matter. You just want to give yourself a little bit of a border along the bottom here. Okay, so that's with the tallest one first. So you need a piece of basic black cardstock that is approximately 3 3/4 inches tall. Okay, so 3 3/4 inches tall. And to do the whole thing here, you need by 6 inches wide. So 3 3/4 by 6 to die cut this piece. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your cardstock. Let me just show you this. You would line it up like this. Okay, so your cardstock is here. You want a little border at the bottom, okay? And then you're gonna do the same thing with a contrasting color, in this case, some Blackberry Bliss. You do the same thing. This time you need a piece that is 2 3/4. All right, so about an inch shorter, 2 3/4 by 6. And you're gonna do the same thing. Line this up. Give yourself a little bit more of a border on this one, okay? And die cut that. And then you're gonna take your pieces and you're going to layer the Blackberry in front of the basic black, okay? So let's do that first. We're gonna take the Blackberry. You can use your adhesive, your tear tape, whatever you wanna use here. But the Blackberry piece, I'm going to layer on the basic black. So these are each through 2 3/4 inches wide. Okay, so then we've got 2 layers of trees, which just looks pretty cool, okay? Now I am going to take some of my balmy blue ribbon, and I don't always, usually if I'm doing a project, I'll tell you to cut the ribbon a little bit wider and then just tape the ends to the back. I don't want to tape the ends to the back, right? Because, well, on my original I did, and then you can see that here. I don't like that, it's too messy, okay? So what we're gonna do, we are actually going to wrap the ribbon around the base of our trees. That way we don't have to use any adhesive on the back. All right, we don't end up with any of this awkward looking mess. Okay, so take your balmy blue ribbon, wrap it around the base of your trees here. Okay, and we are going to tie a knot. I'm not doing a whole, if you want to do a bow, go ahead. In this case, I'm just doing a simple knot. Okay, you can still slide it around, get it where you need it to be. Okay, trim your ends. There we go. Okay, now there's no mess on the back. It's just a nice straight ribbon. Okay, that's all we need there. And if you really want to prevent that from sliding around, you could take one of your glue dots. All right, I like to use my snips, or you take your pick tool. This time peel that, don't use your fingers, all right? But remove a dot and slide it right underneath the knot there, okay? That will keep it, once you've got it where you want it, that will keep it from sliding around. It'll keep it from unraveling, okay? All right. Yes, nobody wants a boogie on their finger, okay? And these glue dots. Sometimes that happens, so we want to avoid it where at all possible. Okay, now that we've got, let's see, I got little glue dots everywhere. Okay. All right, now that we've got this, we're going to adhere our trees to the middle column, okay? So there's 1, 2, 3. We want it on the middle column. However, this is wider than your middle column. All right, so you need to make sure you do not put any adhesive on this section. Otherwise, you'll just glue your card shut, and then nobody will be able to do the fun thing with it, okay? So when it comes to this, all right, take your adhesive, or even take your tear and tape. Okay, let's use tear and tape for a better visual here. Okay, and we're gonna go on this middle column, right along the bottom, okay, just between that score line and the fold, and then come up about an inch, okay, and then do your second piece. All right, and if you really want to, you could put a little more in there. You could do a little dab of Stampin' Seal, okay? All right, but that is where your adhesive is going to go. And then when you place this on there, it is sized so that it fits between this score line and the edge of your card. All right, just like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the backing from our tape. Okay, and go ahead, line this up right here between the score line and the edge. There we go, make it nice and even. Press that firmly into place. All right, you can use your bone folder if you want, just burnish it a little bit there. Okay, and now check this out, voila. But when you're looking at it, oh, it's 3D, it's super cool. The moonlight is shining through the trees. The northern lights are dancing in the back. Oh, I just thought that was the coolest thing ever, okay? So let's dress it up with some frosted gems. All right, and let's see here. We've got, I think I wanna do some purple, right? Because I think that would work. Let's do that. Let's do some of the purple color because we've got a lot of that black. Each paper is a little bit different. This one had more of the berry burst, so I used the pink gems on that. You could do the blue, but they all look cool. All right, you're not gonna go wrong. But let's do one over here. I think it looks cool to have one like a shooting star, right? Poking through the trees. And then I want to incorporate my sentiment. So I'm going to use a larger one towards the base of the circle, and then a small one, and just kind of come up at an angle. Okay. So I've used 3 gems. If you want to add more, I mean, by all means, but I've kept it, dare I say, fairly simple and just used 3 on there. Oh, I'm so glad you like these, Luann. Yes, I hope you found my step-by-step instructions clear and simple. That's what I was aiming for here. Because when you look at it, you're like, oh my goodness, all these pieces, all these score lines. But when it comes down to it, you've got your black card base, 1 sheet of designer series paper, and then it's just a matter of folding on the score lines. All right, so there you have it. You have a square column card. It does stand up. It folds flat. All right, that's so important because it fits in a standard envelope. All right, and then you've got a nice place to write here on the back. So I hope you love these Lights of Aurora Northern Lights projects. All right, give these techniques a try. Definitely make sure you've got some Wink of Stella. And yeah, and try the square column. And if you love the Lights of Aurora products that I've used today, those are available in my online store while supplies last. All right, they are on last chance clearance now. And just a heads up, Stampin' Up! Announced last night. All right, so just so you know, I had no prior knowledge to this. I found out last night, along with everybody else. Stampin' Up! Is offering a free shipping promotion starting tomorrow. All right, that's Wednesday, December 10th through Friday, December 12th. So the 10th through the 12th here of December on orders of $75 or more. Okay, so that means your product total has to be $75. If you're redeeming any Stampin' rewards or coupons or anything, be aware that would reduce your product amount. So it still needs to be $75 after any of your coupons and rewards have been applied. And the other thing to know, as today the 9th, is pretty much the shipping cutoff for holiday delivery. Okay, so be aware that if you do order during the free shipping sale, all right, just full transparency, if you order the 10th, 11th, or 12th, you may not receive your, or Stampin' Up! Is working their hardest. They're working overtime in the warehouse to get these orders out. But it is possible that you may not receive it in time for Christmas if that's what you're aiming for, okay? The other thing is, if you do need it for that, if you want to gift yourself, or if you are gifting somebody and you need it before the 25th, while your standard shipping is free, you could take advantage of that free shipping and add on an expedited 2-day or overnight shipping charge. I believe this two-day fee is $23 and the overnight fee is $35. All right. I believe that's it. 23 for 2-day and 35 for overnight. I know those prices are crazy, but when you need something, all right, it's at least nice not to have the base shipping on top of there. Okay, so a couple of options for you. The other thing, just to let you know, is today is the last day to take advantage of the prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscription sale. All right, the December Paper Pumpkin kit is called Watercolors in Bloom. Real pretty shades of blue, has some nice little flowers on it and sentiments like dear friend, and it's just a nice thinking of you. It's not a holiday kit, it's a generic feel-good kit, okay? And I got a sneak peek of January's kit today on our Paper Pumpkin demonstrator connection there, and the January kit is going to be really pretty. It's like postage theme with flowers and really cool. So you may want a Paper Pumpkin subscription, and if you take advantage of the prepaid, a 3-month prepaid, you save $20, 6-month prepaid, you save $40, and if you do a whole 12-month, you save $80. All right, each one of those would start with the December kit. However, going forward, you do not have to receive each kit consecutively. If you want to skip January, you could do that. You could get January, skip February. It's totally customizable once you receive that first month's kit, okay? So if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. Luann, yes, I will need to message you because, let me see, I don't believe here we go. This is the 12 by 12, the plastic organizer that I use to hold my designer papers. And this one, I believe Kaido scrapbook paper storage organizer. This one I had, so that's CAYDO, and I had 36 sleeves here. Let me see. All right, and I think it's the same company that does that I got my 6x6 sleeve from. Okay, so check that out on Amazon. CAYDO scrapbook organizers. Yes, I believe this because they have the same opening, so I believe it's the same brand. Just these are 12 by 12, right? So it has kind of a square opening, and so does this. So the opening is the same. So I think they're the same brand. Okay, so check that out on Amazon. CAYDO scrapbook paper storage organizer. And like I said, the 12 by 12 here, this one came in a 36 pack. And I want to say, I don't know if I got a 36 pack and the 6 by 6. I may have, because I had a whole stack of them. That's the nice thing, is in that way you can organize all your papers and keep, like when you do a suite, I can stick quite a bit in here. So for example, the Peaceful Garden, I've stuck my embellishments in here, and I stuck my glimmer paper in the back too. So you can hold quite a bit in these little storage sleeves. So I hope that helps. All right, thank you guys. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. All right, and by share, you can even pin directly from my YouTube. All right, pin the video right to Pinterest. All right, thank you guys so much. Just a heads up, on Friday, David and I will be traveling. So depending on if I can get myself packed and organized, I may be able to record a video. Otherwise, it might be spontaneous and it might not be at 3 o'clock. So stay tuned, okay, to my channel here for Friday and through the next week as we're doing a little bit of some traveling. But I do have lots of cool products for you, and it's snowing again. So happy stamping, stay warm, stay cozy, stay safe, and check out the last chance clearance sale along with the free shipping, which starts tomorrow. Okay, that goes into effect at 12:01 a.m. Mountain Time on December 10th. So here in New York, that is 2:01 a.m. Eastern Time. So those of you on the West Coast, you just gotta stay up a little late. All right. Okay, thank you guys so much. Happy stamping, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.